Where's the first tee and what's the course record? It's golf day, kids.
Yeah, it is. It's golf day. Welcome to the Ruined Podcast.
I'm way more excited than these people are.
I'm pretty pumped.
Yeah,
I mean,
it seems like it. You're fucking coming out of your chair just blasting away.
No, it's like I got my back brace on so that I can carry you fucks again.
Here we go.
He wins a putter one time, and now he's the team lead.
That is true. It is golf day. Welcome to the Ruined Podcast. Like Brooks said, I'm your host, Jeff Holmes, along with Brooks Dunkelberger and Noah Havel.
Hello.
That'd be me.
That's him. We didn't have Tia Cam today. We're working on Tia Cam. Next week, Tia. All right, next week.
Production desk.
So we're pumped up for golf, and we might as well get into that story about Brooks winning a putting contest.
Yeah, he about fought an old guy for no reason.
What was that dude's name?
Paul or Phil.
His name was Paul. That's right.
Are you fucking Paul?
Are you fucking Paul?
Yeah, we couldn't figure it out forever. So,
Yeah. I kept thinking it was Phil, but it's actually Paul.
let me set the scene for the folks real quick. We how far do you think that was, Brooks? 150
The
feet?
putt I
100 foot?
made, so the putt I made to get into the playoff was 100 foot.
Okay. So Brooks and one other gentleman in this whole tournament are the only ones that make this putt. And we get made aware of this coming off our 18th hole that Brooks has to go for a playoff. So me and Brooks are in the cart. Noah jumps on the back. We look like the Three Stooges. And we roll up blaring some kind of 80s rock and roll music. I don't remember what it was.
Brooks' walkout song.
Yeah. And Brooks jumps out of the cart while it's still rolling and looks at his competitor and goes, "Are you fucking Paul?"
This dude's like 82 years old.
Just intimidation factor all the way.
Well,
And,
it worked, though, because the guy fucking clammed up and choked, and I put, like...
Brooks was victorious.
Right.
Got yourself a nice putter out of it.
Are you using that putter today?
Like a $300 putter. Yeah. I initially I didn't use it because it's got a smaller, like a standard putter grip on it. My old putter's got like an oversized
Fat grip, yeah.
So it took a while to make the adjustment. But yeah, I'm using it now. I
It's
love
in the bag for today's action.
it. Is. It's in the bag for today's action. I think we're all going to be in the bag by the time the day is done.
That is good. We're going to try to record some live shots and hopefully get those up to on all of our socials
Yes.
at Ruin Pod for most of everything. Right, Tia? This is where the camera would come in handy so that people could see you shaking.
She'd
your
be
head.
like, yes, that would be right.
So, yeah, check us out on Instagram and LinkedIn and
Tinder.
not Tinder.
Grinder.
Not Grindr.
Grinder for Noah and Jeff. I'm on Tinder. You can find me there.
You know the picture of me in the cowboy arena with my shirt off?
Yeah.
That was our buddy who's in the picture with me. That was his Tinder profile picture for a long time. I'll put that up for the masses to see, and we'll get some real good action there. It's basically an ad for Jack Daniels. Like, I should be compensated for that. Then you'll see why when you see the picture. But anyways, yeah. So speaking of people not in the action today, it's where we are at 8:24 right now. We don't know if Mr. Shuffler's going to play in the golf tournament today.
So Scotty's trying to drive to work, essentially.
Yeah.
He takes a little shortcut around an accident.
Which
and-
everyone else was doing. Other golfers did the same move he did.
Right. And so the way my dad told me this story is he's dragging cops on his car. I don't know how true that is.
Well, they said he jumped like a and latched onto it.
Right.
Like a leech. Yeah.
Yeah, like
And he's-
Batman.
And the story was he only went 10 to 20 yards after the guy jumped onto his vehicle, but probably was a little freaked out. I probably would have kept driving too. But
What did the cop think he was going to do? Stop the car by dragging on it?
well, so the cars that they're in are marked like that he's a player in the tournament, and they were letting the players into the course.
Right.
There's another part of this where there was unfortunately a tragic accident where somebody lost their life, so traffic was backed up.
Yeah.
That's unrelated to what Scotty has going on, but Scotty tries to go around the whole deal and gets this leech cop to jump on his vehicle, which then he was beating he's beating the windshield with this flashlight. Then just drugged Scotty out, cuffed him, and threw him in the back of the car.
And initially I thought he was just being detained. They were going to handle it on the scene, but they hauled him into jail. So
That was this morning?
He's
That
probably
just
still
happened
there.
this morning,
He's probably
yeah.
still there.
And I think his tee time is in a half an hour. Yeah.
No, yeah, he ain't making that.
So, well, yeah, we don't know if he's been released yet. I didn't see any updates on it, but yeah, he's, imagine the kind of lawsuit that there could be there in the event that he loses all of these earnings.
I mean, it's the equivalent of the Super Bowl for these guys in golf.
Right.
This
What tournament is it?
PGA Championship, bud.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fucked.
So essentially a couple $1 million over this arrest.
Right.
Plus the PR embarrassment of being a pretty clean-cut guy, not having any social media. You know, he's pretty behind the scenes and only isn't he's not Jeff. He's not flamboyant.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like
he's just
he
a
keeps to
down
himself.
dude.
Yeah.
He seems like somebody that you'd hang out with. When he won that last event, he was at some dive bar in Dallas with all of his old buddies. Like he's not some flamboyant dickhead that is out there to
The Masters is what you're referring to.
it was the Masters.
One of the most prestigious tournaments on earth, and this dude just flies to Dallas and heads on down to the local.
Wears his green
dive.
jacket into this
Isn't that
bar
awesome?
the hole in the wall place. Yeah, it is
Will you,
awesome.
can you? I don't know if you can look this up on the fly real quick. I'm gonna go out and assume he's probably never had a run-in with the authorities before. He's that kind of a clean-cut guy.
Probably doesn't even have a speeding ticket on his name.
I wouldn't expect that he doesn't.
Right.
But we can.
But as we look that up, and obviously this will air once people have a little more information on it, but wanted to get our reaction to it because it's quite a fascinating story that this dude's preparing for one of the biggest moments of his career. I know he's won a few majors, but yeah, he's currently sitting in an 8x8.
I just wonder.
Probably playing harmonica.
#1 player in the world, most dominant athlete on earth potentially, and he's out in jail today.
What's the charge?
Do you think he's singing Lonesome Prison songs right now? And just
Probably.
That was my harmonica.
Just mopping the
That
floor.
sounded like a trumpet.
That did sound like a trumpet. You're right.
Probably making a shank.
He's plotting his escape so he
he's
can make his
gonna-
tea time.
I mean, he's gonna have to pick out the biggest dude in there
And let him know.
and just start swinging.
Let him
You
know
have to
what's
assert
going on.
dominance
Right.
right away, or else you're a bitch.
Do you think he's in Gen Pop, do you?
I hope he is. I can't. There's nothing. Like I can't see anything
okay,
on his
so
arrest record. This seems like the first time it's happened. We just don't have a lot of information on it, though.
Right.
Like there's a lot of commentary on. I mean, there's one headline here that says "a disgusting act by Scotty Scheffler." So I feel like, yeah, and I feel like we don't have the complete picture of this thing. Maybe he swung at the cop or tried to take his gun. We really just don't have enough information.
All right, we'll reenact the scene on our way to Sunnyside today, Brooks. And
We could reenact it with the golf cart.
yeah, or we can
dragged
just
behind it.
I don't.
we probably can get some cops over there and have you hauled off before the round starts.
I don't think there's a golf cart powerful enough to drag the dead weight of my fat ass.
That's true for me as well, buddy.
Brooks kind of looks like the type of guy that would take a swing at a bouncer at a club or a bar.
I
feel like
tell
you
you what,
have.
it may have happened a couple times 20 years ago, but it was
Anything you'd like to share on air?
no, definitely not. Nope.
I feel like Brooks might throw the headbutt before a fist, though.
So Brooks throws headbutts and fists at bouncers. Noah runs over tulips.
One time.
Yeah, we are not the same.
Gets hauled off.
Yeah, one time.
You're a badass, man. Don't let
Wasn't it even at a tulip festival?
Yeah, at
Yeah.
tulip time in Pella.
Tulip time in Pella, and you're destroying the thing that they're celebrating.
Dude, I crashed my bicycle into it.
What happened?
I don't know. I never had brakes on my bicycle for some reason. And I remember,
Your parents trying to get rid of you.
yeah, I was not, we were not allowed to like drink energy drinks and shit back then, but I did. So I went to the
What do
Casey's.
you mean by not allowed? Like
My dad said,
because he was hyper already.
no, they said, don't drink that shit. You're white trash, whatever. But so that made me want to drink them even more.
These energy drinks are the devil, boy.
Yeah. And I go to Casey's and get like the big ass Red Bull, the 24 ouncer, no brakes on a
Fucking
bicycle.
rebel.
And I was just pedaling out of there, got a little squirrely in front of a few cars and crashed right into the tulip bed.
Hold on. So
you're driving in traffic?
I was on a bicycle. Yeah.
You're
I was in
basically
traffic.
kid DUIing, or I guess it'd be the other way. You're upping.
Yeah, I was up.
You're on blow, essentially, running through traffic on a bicycle with no.
And that was
That's
your
what happened.
preferred method to stop was just like, hey, let's pick out some beautiful foliage here and just bury myself in it. That's the
all
only
I
way I
had.
can stop this
It
momentum.
was that or an electrical box.
We'll bail. Just bail on the bike and see what happens. So,
The bike goes over. It was bad. It wiped out the whole garden.
they had to take you home, didn't they?
I rolled around in the fucking flowers for a second and then got up. They were mad.
They take that tulip stuff serious down there.
Yeah, I don't know.
As they
So
should.
serious.
Oh yeah, they're.
That's basically their entire income for the year for tourism.
It is. Yeah.
And you ruined it.
I ruined the whole festival for the year.
They didn't have the parade and anything, did they?
Nope. They just
You think you're known around there?
yeah, they probably got my picture up
Wanted.
right on the tulip tower.
I'm imagine kids crying, old ladies opening their Bibles up. Noah just laying in these.
Just imagine those flowers growing now because I dumped my Red Bull in it when I crashed.
Oh,
They're just up too. So, all right. Well, Scotty's going to jail. So is Brooks apparently later.
we
What
hope
else is
not.
going on in the world?
Oh, well, I wanted to talk a little bit about Caitlin Clark because she had her professional debut. She put up 20 points. They look pretty good. The problem seems to be that the Indiana Fever suck.
Thank you for that in-depth analysis.
I mean, that's really all there is to it. They got blown. They got blown out last night.
She had 9 last night.
Yeah.
And that was the lead outside of Scotty Scheffler. That was the lead on the sports shows this morning, is that she was held to under double-digit points for like the first time in 5 years or something like that, and so they were losing.
Didn't she have like 10 turnovers in her first game, which was the most? in
Yeah,
a
she
career
was
debut.
Well, and that was kind of a problem during college too. She
Yeah.
threw the ball away a lot. And
Some of those
it's-
passes worked, and they worked well, but when they don't, they're catastrophic.
And these girls in the WNBA, they're all just as fast and good as she is. So, you know, the fact that she was able to put up 20 points in her first game, that's impressive. If she can work out some of these kinks and they get some support behind her, you know, they might be able to do something. But it's going to take more than just her.
That tall girl from, was it South Carolina?
Is it Boston?
I don't know.
What you're talking about?
She came on this year.
Boston, Massachusetts.
Aaliyah.
That's from a movie.
She has like the red hair.
The gal that played for
What's her
South
name?
Carolina.
Yeah, they got her, don't they?
Yeah.
Is she starting?
I would
I believe she
imagine
is.
so.
Yeah.
No, I just didn't know.
Yeah, but they're going to struggle.
I'm like, no, fuck. If she can pass to her, she'd be good.
It's going to take her a few years.
I thought Indiana had her.
No,
Who?
she went to like right behind Caitlin, like 3rd or 4th.
Oh, I thought Indiana got her too.
He thought Caitlin and that the gal from South Carolina were on the same team. That's not the case.
I don't think so. No.
So, all right. Well, we'll keep watching to hopefully see Caitlin succeed. Go Hawks.
Go Hawkeyes.
Yeah, absolutely. What else? What else, Brooks? What else is going on?
What's in the news, Brooks?
Well,
What's
it's not.
grinding
It's
your
in our
gears?
local news.
What's local?
Well, we've got an Arena League football team starting in Waterloo, Iowa,
Oh yeah, we do.
called the Iowa Woo. So our company, Jeff and Julia, they are the owners of the Iowa Woo. Tell us a little bit about the journey up to now, Jeff.
Yeah, we're actually donating to a local event that we do every year, held on what's called the National Cattle Cottage Grounds. And as I was there handing them the check, they said, you know, they're looking for owners for this local arena team. And Julia happened to call during that transaction, and I made a joke like, hey, they want us to buy a football team now. And knowing Julia, she would say, oh, no, Jeff, we're not going to do that, are we? And came home that night, and Julia said, hey, we should really look at that football team, and kind of threw me for a loop. And so we did it. Shout out to Kenny Van Broggen, who's calling me right now.
I've seen the 780. I'm like, I know that's it.
Kenny's a man. Kenny is 93 years old and brings scrapping to Noah, but he has my cell phone and only calls me. He refuses to call anyone else. Yeah. And but he kicks the can down the road still, and gives the folks in Kellogg a good time. And
he's fun to deal with.
Doesn't mess around, does he, Noah?
No.
So, but anyways, back to the football team. We got together, purchased the football team. The financing of it was right, or the purchase of it was right, I should say, and have moved forward with it. And it's been quite the interesting adventure. So we're in an inaugural season of an inaugural league called the Arena League, different from Arena Football League, which is currently in disarray, I should say. There's some teams leaving and lack of funding going on there, but so they are two separate companies or leagues altogether. We are one of 4 teams. It's the Iowa Woo, which is us, the Ozark Lunkers, which is in Springfield, Missouri, the Kansas City Goats, and the Duluth Harbor Monsters.
The goats?
The Goats.
That's a badass.
Goats.
That's
goats.
pretty
And it's a guy. It's a goat dressed up in a mafia outfit. So,
Yeah, he's got like
cooler.
a fedora hat on.
yeah. So the lunkers are a reference to fishing, and that's where Bass Pro Shop is headquartered down there.
Yep.
And then the harbor monsters. I don't know enough I'm not educated enough on the story of it, but it's a legend that this thing lives in the lake that they're on there.
Like the Loch Great Lake.
Kind of like the Loch Ness Monster,
Yeah.
but it's the harbor monster. So should be a fun, exciting time. Our league's a little bit different. There is it's 6-on-6 versus traditional 8-on-8 or 7-on-7. There's no kicking in our league. It's Ironman football, meaning people can go both ways. And we've been blessed to find a very experienced coach in arena football. His name is Coach Mook Zimmerman.
And I've met Mook a couple times. He seems like a pretty dynamic dude in terms of a coach. What's his background? Where's he come from a coaching standpoint?
Yeah, so he played actually and made a few NFL rosters before going to play internationally. He played in Brazil. Got back to the United States and started coaching. I'm going to forget the name of the league he was in, but it's on the East Coast. He coached the West Virginia Rough Riders.
And I feel like they won a championship under his
back-to-back.
tutelage.
Back-to-back.
And
that was arena football?
Yeah, it was arena football as well. So I believe it was the AAL, but don't quote me on that. But he won 2 championships with them. And so obviously it was a natural fit. We clicked right away, me and Julia did with Mook. And he's here in town now, getting our ready for camp, which starts on Monday. So we're excited for that. But 6-on-6 football, so it's a little more spread out. We're going to have some high scoring. It's going to be more like basketball scoring than it is arena, traditional football scoring. No kicking in our league. Ironman football, like I said, they can go both ways, play offense and defense. So
Who do you play for your first game?
we are actually doing a preseason game against a team called the Minnesota Warriors that are coming down from Minneapolis.
And this is just like an exhibition game to sort of prep for the first league game. What are the Minnesota Warriors exactly? Is there a league that they're in, or
They actually play the team from Newton, which is by Noah,
The Nighthawks?
the Newton Nighthawks. They're in that same league, which is semi-pro traditional football, 11-on-11. So, but they like the exposure that playing professional guys gives them,
Yeah,
and so they agreed to have an exhibition game with us, and it should be a lot of fun. And we're doing. If you're in the area, we're doing tailgating and bands outside before it, and that's May 25th. And then we turn around on June 1st and head to Springfield to take on the Ozark Lunkers.
That name's sick, too.
You like the Lunkers?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Big old fish.
Big old bass.
Yeah, big old bass.
Bass and
I was surprised at the level of talent.
Brooks looks like a bluegill.
I don't look like a bluegill.
Very seriously. What kind of fish do you look like, Brooks?
If I
A nice bluegill.
a barracuda.
Fish?
If I had
Is that a fish?
yeah, barracuda's a fish.
It's like a long stream.
Well, I know what it is, but
it's
is it
No,
fresh
I'm more
water?
like
It's saltwater.
a sailfish or a swordfish.
You're
like a
fish, huh? I'm probably a
You guys
puffer
are
fish.
just little minnows. There's fat little minnows that are gray, really. And that's the difference between.
Oh, God.
I
think Noah's more like a catfish because he's got whiskers.
I'm what eats, and you're what gets eaten.
Now, if you're a bluegill, I'm a catfish. You're my dinner.
No,
You're a bluegill.
I don't believe that I'm a bluegill, but I'll let you guys have that.
I just called myself a puffer fish, and you're letting me have it.
You are kind of a puffer fish without the pins on it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
See him take his shirt off. What if he spikes out?
That's his defense.
You might see it on the course today.
We probably will see it on the course.
I wonder if they got bullfrog, man.
You know what we need?
probably make that happen.
Have you guys had a transfusion?
Like blood?
No. It's like a golf.
Hepatitis?
It's like a fancy golf drink or something. I've tried one. They're good as hell.
What is it? No.
Does it have somebody? We were at El Patron, the Mexican restaurant, the night before last, and we got Corona Ritas, and somebody said that looks like a transfusion. Does a transfusion have a bottle of soda in it or something?
I think it's like vodka, grape juice, and what the fuck's that shit called? Not Sprite. Oh, ginger ale with lime juice. So I tried one. Oh, they're good. And they're like a reddish color.
So have you had just grape juice and vodka? That's called a salty dog.
That's grapefruit.
That's what I said.
You said grape juice.
You said juice.
Oh, I'm sorry, grapefruit.
Grapefruit
juice.
and vodka
Yeah.
with salt on the rim.
Grapefruit
One of the best
juice.
drinks ever.
That does sound good.
But still, the
I would agree with you. I like a
King.
bullfrog better.
of golf cocktails is the bullfrog.
Those
are refreshing.
When it's 1,000,000 degrees out, though, ain't much that beats a salty dog.
Well, that's true. Well, that's true. And it only takes a couple of them, and then you're.
Have you ever had a Miller Lite?
I've had plenty of Miller Lights. I switched to Miller Lite about a year ago. And now it's my fuel. I just can't get enough of it.
I can't either.
I've been dumping olives in mine.
In your Miller
Olives are good in it, and so are limes.
Yeah.
You know, limes are really good in it.
I could do that.
Bush Light is still king around here, though.
Well, Bush Light is still the top dog around here, but for some reason it was like a light switch. Like Bush Light is too sweet for me now. Suddenly,
Miller Lite
And
has
Miller
that
Lite
beer
tastes like
taste.
beer.
Yes.
This is totally, well, I guess semi-related to what you're talking to. We were at Israel Consumer Night in St. Louis one time, and we were ordering beers to the room. I was rooming with Beans, and so we were ordering beers to the room, and I called and said, hey, bring us, they'd only bring you 6 at a time. Bring us 6 Bush Lights. So they go, we don't have that here. I go, it's literally brewed half a mile from where we're standing at right now. She said, I don't know what to tell you, son, but we ain't got none of it. So we had to settle for Bud Lights.
Yeah, apparently down there, that's just like the garbage juice that they export out of the state.
Those morons to the north will drink it.
I can't believe they're drinking this shit, but let's just keep pumping it up in Iowa.
Bush Light and like Natural Light or whatever is all brewed in the same thing, but one of them's just distilled longer or something. I don't know how
I
that
think
works.
that's true with most of Anheuser's products.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just like
there's
they all
just-
kind of step down.
Right, they're all kind of similar recipes, but the
no
brewing
different
process is a little different.
Bourbon stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
Like Buffalo Trace is Pappy Van Winkle, only not sitting in a barrel as long.
Really?
Yeah,
right. Huh.
It's the same recipe.
Same recipe, just
Let's try it.
ferment. Get it out. Get that.
Just start drinking whiskey at 8:43. We won't even go to the golf tournament. We won't have to do shit. We can sit in this garage. We sit in this garage until the graduation party starts.
I will. You see, I acquired some mugs up here. Those are actually from a parent. My father gave those to me. We lived in Germany while he was in the service.
Those are Steins.
Those are Steins.
Steins.
Cool mugs. Yeah.
Hot beer. Does that one have a cap on it?
Which one? The decorative one?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Some of them have caps on it.
Yeah. Oh no, it doesn't have that. No. But yeah, that thing was like hand painted or whatever.
Imagine drinking a hot beer out of that.
Sorry, you guys can't see where we're at. Probably we'll shoot a picture of them to you, and then check this out. This is cool.
A little show and tell time with Jeff.
But Jeff,
Go ahead, open that up, Jeff. See what we got. What is it?
it's a
Is that a fire on it? A glass pistol?
crystal. It's German crystal. Sorry, it's German crystal that we got apparently in Germany. Actually, I think it might have been bought here, but it was made in Germany. But
That thing's awesome.
yeah,
Gonna hang that up.
he gave it to me with all that stuff, and I thought it was some kind of shooter. Like I needed to pour alcohol into it.
Old timey.
But
That's what I thought when first put
pretty
it out.
cool.
It's like a shot deal.
yeah, but no, it's authentic German crystal. I found out last night. Whoa!
Freeze to you.
Pointed it to you. You might turn her into glass. So, but yeah. So show and tell time's over. I'm gonna put this away, Brooks. Did I cover the football team, or did you want to know anything else? Tia helped with the mascot.
What's the mascot's name again?
Mascot's
Wacky.
name is Wacky.
Wacky.
No, I was surprised at the level of talent that these guys, some of the players have. I mean, we got former NFL guys, we got a lot
Yes,
of
sir.
D1, former college D1 players.
Yep.
So
So
I
you guys
think
are
it's
sandbagging this league, huh?
I think they're gonna blow these guys out.
I think there's.
I think it's gonna
some
be
other
undefeated
talents
champs.
That we started signing some guys, and a lot of it had to do with Coach Zimmerman's connections. And so we started signing some of these guys with a lot of history behind them, and I think some of those other teams took notice too. So it should definitely be competitive and fun. By the time I can say this now because it'll be announced by the time they air today, they are announcing the sixth team into the Arena League, which will be out of Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Don't have a name for you, but it sounds like good excitement just talking to the league officials. I was down in Hot Springs, Arkansas 3 weeks ago, and we announced the team there. So next year we'll add Hot Springs and Eau Claire to the roster, and then in 2026 we'll add 2 more teams as well. So
the league currently has how many teams? Is it 4 teams, and then we go to 6, and then 8?
yes, sir. But
Awesome.
and shout out to Brooks too. Me and Brooks have been doing a lot of general labor stuff over the last month, maybe 6 weeks actually, probably.
Yep.
Turning our arena the historic Hippodrome.
The historic Hippodrome. We are trying to get that place in shape to host this Iowa Woo football team, and I think it's gone pretty well. I think we're gonna hit all of our deadlines here. We're gonna be ready to rock and roll by the time this game comes around.
Fantastic about the Hippodrome is that it was built in 1919, so it's over 100 years old. They did a renovation in the 1930s, and then I think put some new seating in maybe the 60s or so, and I think that's it. It hasn't had much love to it.
That's been about all the updating there is. Really, all we can do is clean it up and add a few little.
It looks cool with the turf in there.
It looks awesome with the turf in there.
But what I was gonna say is trying to build stuff into a building that didn't have regulations. It's very interesting. It's not a whole lot of square angles and things like that, and different heights and all that stuff. But no, it's been a lot of fun to get that up and going. And
Did you guys get the locker rooms done?
Just about. We're working to get all the locker boxes finished. We've got maybe another 2-3 big days of work, and then we're going to be ready to rock.
Yeah, you coming to roll turf?
I thought it was already down.
Yeah, it was. We pulled it up. If you guys have any tips on how to roll up AstroTurf, then certainly leave them in the comments.
So our turf has a rubber matting underneath it, and I think a lot of them do. But this is like, it becomes extremely heavy when it's rolled up because it's a lot of weight moving around. So I was talking to the league, and I'm like, hey, I've never done this before. Am I doing something dumb? So we went and got new course, thinking like PVC pipe would be stronger instead of the cardboard that it came on to roll these things up. And we're doing all this stuff, and we're having a hell of a time. I'm stealing people from the scrapyard because I don't got enough bodies. Everybody's getting pissed. One of our employees just like refusing to come. He's like, I ain't going over there no more. And then yesterday he pulled a stunt where he was just like, oh, I didn't know you needed me too.
Yeah.
And I specifically told him instead of everybody else. So anyways, they send me a video. It comes from a manufacturing plant in China. The turf does. And they send me a video, and they like, this is how you roll it up. And the guy who's kind of the league representative sends it to me. He goes, this is what we got from the manufacturer. He goes, I don't see you guys doing this, but I just wanted to let you know. And it's these 2 little Chinese guys standing on a like quartered rolled piece of turf, and they've got walking sticks that they're pulling themselves. They look like they're log rolling. Like,
yeah, like in the cartoons when they stand on logs and they're going back and forth one way after the other. And they even do it like in the lumberjack contest. They do log rolling. Yeah. That's what these guys look like they're doing.
They said this. That's the official way on how to roll this turf up.
It can't be real. Like
it's impossible.
Right. Once you get like halfway through rolling one of these things up, it weighs 1,000 pounds. You're not pushing that with two.
How many
guys
we've got? So I don't think you've met Ian. Ian's a new employee in Waterloo.
Oh yeah, I met Ian. Big dude.
Yeah, Ian is strong as shit.
Yeah.
And it was me, Brooks, Ian, Dave, and Julia. And Julia was helping us out. And it was a struggle for the 6 of us to, was that 5 of us to push it over.
How many rolls does it roll up to?
It's 10 plus the end zones, which are a little bit different in diameter. But yeah,
so we're trying to engineer all these different ways to do it. Jimmy made huge, like steel wagon wheels, and we put an axle in between them, and we can't get that to work. It's just because the math isn't right. You roll the thing faster than the carpet. So it's like
it falls on itself and it gets too heavy.
But once we get it down for the season, don't have to do anything for a while.
So we're bringing a team in, and we'll do it that way. But yeah, go Iowa Woo.
Go Iowa Woo.
If you want
guys,
merch is out now.
There's
good job, Tia, on
Check
merch.
out the Iowa Woo guys. If you're local, come to the games.
You don't have to be
tickets.
local to come, Brooks. We welcome outsiders too.
Yeah. If
If you guys want to fly into the,
you guys want to fly in, we can
Waterloo Regional.
Probably clear a place for you right at the Cattle Congress parking lot to land.
Wouldn't be the first time we've partied in a parking lot, isn't it?
No.
Yeah. So,
Won't be the last.
shout out to Chris Dixon who let us hang out at his trailer.
Mm-hmm.
and your wife thought we were. I think we've shared that story before. I think, but appeared that Tia took us to a cemetery.
Yeah. My wife saw me on the map at a cemetery, and then my phone died, and it was 3:00 in the morning. So she was none too happy about that.
So good times though, but
awesome times. Let's get into
real quick.
a
Can I
little.
plug this?
Yeah,
Check
absolutely.
everything out. Iowa Related on all of our socials and iowawoo.com.
Yep. Let's get into a little bit of some scrap stuff here.
Stuff we should talk about.
Yeah, this is, after all, the Ruined Podcast, and we are from a scrapyard in Iowa called Push Iron and Metals. And so, Jeff, with that said, what's Ferris market outlook?
Blue jeans. Yeah. Ferris took a down tumble. I think we talked about that last week a little bit. It's trending down, which is, I think it was a bit surprising to some folks. This is going to kind of segue off what we're talking about here a little bit, but I had a mill yesterday, mid-month. It was an older order they had decided to keep open, and there was problems on their end and our end, and so this had been open for a while. And then they just randomly decided without any warning that, we're going to close it now. And so I spent 20 minutes trying to figure out, probably longer than that, how we're going to make the customer happy and still ship this product that they have ready now, and fighting with the other side. So that's definitely probably a bigger topic, but we're kind of a unique industry in that regard, where steel mills can take, or foundries, I've never had this issue with foundries before, but steel mills can take purchase orders and then just decide, we don't want it anymore. We don't want it anymore. Yeah. We're going to cancel it.
No, thanks.
I think that's, and as a business person, I understand what their point is in doing so, but it's just very unique. You don't see a lot of purchase orders that can just be canceled because they don't like the way the market's looking anymore. So,
right, and what drives that? I mean, new production is obviously one of the drivers, but what else are we looking at there in terms of why these guys would cancel orders like that?
Well, profitability. I mean, they can buy the raw materials. You see it when the market goes down. You don't tend to see it as much when the market goes up. They don't want to cancel it then. But we're kind of held hostage because there's only so many customers out there that buy our product or our material, and not just Push. That's true of any scrapyard. It would take collectively a lot of us saying, okay, we're not going to sell you anything until you honor either old purchase orders, or you're not allowed to cancel them. We can hold you accountable to it. So there's a lot of material out there. It's a fun industry. It's a growing industry. Or it has been growing. And so there's a lot of material out there. So these guys, if you want to eat, you got to sell stuff. You know what I mean? And so you can only probably sustain so long without selling product before you got to, get cash flowing again and that sort of thing. So I think, I don't know that there's a solution to it. And that's kind of just part of the nature of the game more than anything else.
I think with just any other industry, there's the markets can be volatile, and it's got to wait it out. Like you said, you're kind of held hostage by that kind of stuff.
It would take a substantial amount of consumers like us and bigger guys and smaller guys to say, to stand up to the man and say, we're not going to do this.
Right.
And to keep all of our staff employed and all that, hopefully wait that process out, which I don't ever see that happening, and as you get larger, other consumers, especially ones that are larger, have a little more leverage too, because they're moving a lot more tons. So they're able to say, or they're able to make a deal that's, more valuable than ours would be to us. What's unique about Push is we're able to work thin because we're creative and we're not a giant company. We can grease the wheel real quick, if you know what I mean, if we need to. And so, that's not necessarily true of other companies, but they get, some better pricing and things like that because they're able to produce more tons and that sort of thing. So I don't know that you see probably, and I don't know this firsthand, I would imagine that they probably have better luck with the orders not being canceled and things like that because they have that leveraging power. But again, for us, it's kind of the nature of the beast. If we want to eat, we gotta sell stuff. And so that's one of the necessary evils in our business.
Absolutely. I kind of want to switch gears and talk a little bit about theft and how to handle it, how to spot it. A couple weeks ago,
that gun
could be part of it, right? how do you know when you might be buying something that's not legit? And are there any red flags, any kind of warning signs that you can spot? I know we bought a while back some old brass placards. These came, and shortly after that, the police came in looking for this stuff.
And that's there's actually a story of another scrapyard in Iowa that happened too in the scrapyard. That there was jail time for the people at the scrapyard too.
Right. So the liability is there.
Right. And so we've got a pretty good relationship with the authorities here, and so we were able to return all of the items that had been procured illegally. We'll say it that way, and allegedly. And then shout out to Steph in our office too, who just gave it back without thinking about all the money we spent to buy it. So we're just lost a couple $100 there. So thanks, Steph. So
Let him buy it back at least.
but there'll probably be restitution. I mean, we probably figure that out down the road a little ways, but that'll take 2 years to get through the courts and all that good stuff. But no, that's a common one, I think.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you got folks who are just not caring about the dead and running through and grabbing stuff off it. But I would, in my experience, a lot of times if the police show up to us and say, hey, we're looking for XYZ, a reel of copper, or it doesn't matter what it is, and we can show that, we have it, especially if it looks similar to pictures they have or whatever, and then identify the person who sold it to us, that's usually where it ends for us. We don't really get involved much more after that. And Stephanie, a lot of times we get to keep the scrap too, not give it back to the people. So, but
it's always hard though to tell what could possibly be.
Oh yeah, here's the deal. And this sounds probably harsh. We want to be as cooperative as we can, but it's also not our job to police what comes in and comes out. You know what I mean? And so.
We can't interrogate every person that brings in some burned copper wire.
I can't remember if we've shared this before, but remember we had the one who they brought a whole
a spool
of ACSR. I found this. I was like,
with the company's name on the spool.
I bet you did. So we didn't buy that day. We had an employee do something similar like that too, and obviously realized what was going on. So, and actually, even my competitors, we've had to call, a big competitor of ours in the area as well as a smaller one and say, hey, we think either somebody is stealing from us or they might be stealing from you. Both of those scenarios have happened, and said XYZ. We've had customers that are industrial accounts of ours call and say, hey, we caught some guy in the bathroom with, a backpack full of stainless steel bolts, and wanted to know if he sold anything else to you. So that stuff comes up from time to time. But for the most part, I think you have to obviously just take it as it comes and deal with it.
It's hard to take any kind of preventative measures because you don't know. You can't just look at somebody and judge it like, hey, this guy's just because he's got a truckload of brand new copper. Does that necessarily mean that it's stolen?
Or he's a guy that he has a hole in the windshield. Remember that guy? do we think he's obviously not replacing his windshield, but how is he powering this truck? So
we've had the sheriff, they'll call me sometimes, be like, hey, here's a list of names, look out, because we're looking for catalytic converters and stuff.
Yeah, that was a big one for a while, was cats, and they actually passed a law in Iowa that we're supposed to acquire the title of the vehicle in order to take the
right, and they're also worth much less money in the scrap market now. But what about the end user? The value's still the same. So where does that differential in money go?
Yeah, I think they find alternatives to feed their subs, if that's a good way to put it. A lot of it too is what's considered stealing. Where Julia lives, there's a housing development going on, and I drive by there all the time. And there's people in the garbage dumpster, not the waste dumpster, looking for copper wire and stuff like that. They're just fishing. Is that stealing?
If it's going to get thrown away.
If it's going to get thrown away.
I feel like there's
that's recycling.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like there's a law that says if you put refuse out by the road or in a refuse container, then it's game. I don't know if that applies to us here in Iowa, but I feel like that's a law somewhere that I've heard at some point. Like if you've made it known that this is trash, then it's fair game for everyone.
Yeah. So there's a lot of that going on, but it's real weird when you see the guy who's missing 14 teeth just popping his head out of the dumpster as he come by because he's scared or whatever. And then to further that conversation a little bit more is internal theft. We've had a lot of that happen too, you know.
Right, and it's a little bit easier to place controls on stuff like that. You know, like you don't let your employees enter your warehouse with a tote. You know, that's they've got to hide it on their person. It's not like you can strip them down and search them every time they walk off the floor, but it's easier to control that than it is people coming in as peddlers.
And I would say, you know, and you've been a part of this process, Brooks, but we've upped our security tremendously in the last 3 years, probably. At Push, formerly A-Line, compared to what it was. Just we're growing as a company, and that was kind of a natural step for us, and even where you are. You know, I always laugh about this because we've got, in Waterloo, we've got a pretty loyal yard foreman who's done this for a long time for us. And his idea of security is that he just finds them after work and takes care of it. That's also a problem, though. We can't. You're not allowed to really do that anymore.
We're getting a little bit beyond that era of handling things yourself, and you know he's never going to leave that. That's always going to be what his way is. But yeah,
he's got a story, and this is this is a catch-22 because it's awesome that he's this loyal to us in that, but we knew somebody was stealing. They were breaking into the fence. We couldn't find out how they were doing it, but we knew stuff was going on. And he put his, as he says, I put my ear to the streets and found supposedly who this was stealing from us. And the guy was like at a gas station, something like that. And our yard foreman found him and drug him basically out of the vehicle and was kind of questioning him, I'll say it like that. Aggressive questioning him. And he happened to look up, and there happened to be a child with this man in the vehicle. And so his conscience was immediately turned, and we turns out this guy was the one stealing from us, and we put an end to it with the right way. I guess I'll wrap that story up. So, but yeah, I mean, we've caught several people doing that before. We had one guy driving and take. We get product from a local hardware store, I'll say, and so he thought that because it looked new and not junk, that he could just take it. Just drove out with it, and he said, "Oh, well, I was just borrowing it." That was it. So, you know, that's always the same with those kind of folks. Unfortunately, is it's always an excuse, and we've caught them at your place too, and had to get rid of them. So
recently, we had a couple peddlers getting their check for their scrap. And I knew they were going to have questions about the scrap they sold. And our office gal, she's newer, so I watched the camera as I'm in the car.
To update that, they were trying to sell us sheet iron as number 2, essentially, is what it is.
So I knew
a lot of scrappers deal with that. So
I knew that was going to be a problem. So I'm in the crane. I turn on the office camera and watch on my phone. And as they're standing at the counter to get paid, I see them look at each other, point at my tools that are sitting there, and start shoving tools in their pocket. So I immediately hop out of the crane, run up there, and I said something to them, got my tools back, and told
aggressively questioned them.
I told them, don't bring your scrap back here ever again.
Yeah.
And that was the end of it.
And I think sometimes you have to do that. And then that word travels quickly too. So it's not just us. Like I said, we've got great relationships with our competitors that we call and say, hey, we just caught so-and-so doing this to us, or they brought this in or whatever. And there's a little respect for that. You know, it's a very competitive market still, but at the end of the day, it is, you know, you kind of want them to...
Well, everything needs to be on the up and up, though. Like, you want to clue people in, even if it's a competitor. Hey, these guys are stealing from us. Yeah. You know, they're going to do the same to you, so that's important.
Absolutely. So
if you let it slide once, then word gets around, and
it's easy to take from here, and blah, blah, blah. And even further, I mean, so to put a bow on this, it's not only peddlers bringing in stuff, but it can be, you know, internal employees. We've had issues with that. And then we deal with all the other theft stuff that other companies deal with too, you know, internal credit card theft and things like that. So we've had those happen to us as well. So
sure.
But so yeah, moving forward, Brooks, what's grinding your gears?
You know,
what are you mad about?
I'm not mad about anything. Today, I am happy as a clam.
Let me tell you, I'm going to jump in here, and I do this a lot.
What you're mad about.
Let me tell you what you're mad about. Let me tell you what he's happy about. I don't know if you know this or not. Brooks has discovered the rapper Young Gravy and is Obsessed.
I am a Young Gravy fan. I don't know why, but I just can't get enough. I was listening to it all the way here this morning.
I can't say I've listened to a lot of Young Gravy.
You
songs.
will, though.
I've heard them working in the Hippodrome with Brooks. I've heard every album that this dude has.
Yeah, Young Gravy is coming at us fucking hot. I know they don't have any idea.
I know his song Gravy Train, and it's kind of catchy.
Dude, there's so many catchy ones. I listened to it only as a joke. We were listening to a doo-wop playlist, and they play a lot, and it's got Mr. Sandman on it.
Oh, yeah.
And his cousin walks in and he goes, "You guys are listening to Young Gravy?"
Yeah, because Young Gravy has that.
His Young Gravy. Yeah, he samples that song.
Yeah, it's good.
And Jeff's like, "No, this is the original song, dude. This is not Young Gravy."
So he puts it on.
And so I just started listening to it like ironically, and now I can't stop. Now I
Addicted.
Yeah, like I ordered a Young Gravy T-shirt. I don't know where I'm going to wear it. It's just like I'm only going to be able to wear it at my house. I'm 44 fucking years old. I can't walk around in a Young Gravy shirt.
It's like Jeff ordering me T-shirts. I have a Crystal Gale T-shirt.
Oh, that's from Step Brothers. That's how we did that.
No, it's Ricky Bobby.
Oh, Ricky Bobby, excuse me. Yeah, Ricky
I
Bobby.
also have a Motley Lue T-shirt that Jeff sent to my house.
That one's rad. That one's way cool.
I've wore that to the gym a few times.
What's that? That one's from Hot Tub Time Machine.
Yeah,
Yeah, you and my buddy Brennan got those. And
I love that
Brennan.
shirt.
Brennan wears it everywhere.
Yeah, Jeff doesn't send me any shirts.
I can't find them in your size.
I wear a size smaller than you, asshole.
All right, I'll get you a shirt. I got you the shirt you're fucking wearing right now.
I'm gonna give him a shirt with a bluegill on it.
I don't look like a bluegill. All right, you guys, we're gonna run out of time here. Make sure you tune in next week. We're gonna talk a little bit about the American Women in Medals. We got some stuff on fundraisers. We'd like to cover a few items in the news.
And Tia Cam next week.
And Tia Cam.
Yeah, Tia. The people are asking for it, Tia.
Yep. Thanks to our sponsors. Thanks to Davis Index.
On the ticker below here.
On the ticker below.
And yeah, is that it for you?
Yeah, I'm wrapped up.
All right, you're done?
I'm done. I'm out.
We're going, boys. Get ready
We're
for
going.
war. It's about to happen. So
It's gonna go
we'll give you an
down.
update on our first place trophy next
And
week.
we are playing Pusher Man on the first tee.
We are playing. And wait till we'll
It's gonna
record
be
some
Young
stuff.
Gravy all day.
We got to introduce the folks to Bud.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
Bud,
right.
Bud will
We'll
be
get
a good
some-
time
we'll
out
get some
there.
clips
Stuff.
of Bud.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you
Thanks,
soon.
guys.
See ya. Wha-boom! Hey, everybody. Thank you for watching the Ruin Podcast this week. Stay up to date with us at www.ruinpod.com. We also have some advertising opportunities available. Just shoot us an email at info@ruinpod.com. And to the greatest industry in the world, sometimes you just got to get out and smell that success, baby.